Trail cameras can be a really great tool in the late summer, but as anything, you got to keep in mind the goals of your trail camera sets, especially in the late summer. So today we're going to talk about what we do with our trail cameras in the late summer. The first thing we want to talk about is staying organized. It's hot out here. We want to be efficient. We want to be quick. And when we're hanging cell cameras, we're hanging cell cameras in sensitive areas. And even though it's August, we still want to be sensitive to where we're putting these cameras, and time efficiency is key. So right here, I have my Duha under storage system with my batteries, SD cards, cameras, antennas, permethrin. Gotta have permethrin for the summer trail camera sets. And I have my solar panels in my straps over there. So I'm gonna bag these up, grab a couple cameras, make sure I got SD cards in all of them, fresh batteries, and we're gonna get these hung and talk about what we're doing, where we're putting our cameras in the late summer, and also gonna talk about what dates you should be checking your standard SD card cameras, or dates to pay attention to with cell cameras in late August. All right, guys, so what we're doing right now is we are moving our summer trail cameras from summer food to fall food sources. So like I said, we got to keep in mind the goal of what we want out of these cameras. Early summer, we're thinking about inventory. Later in the summer, we're thinking about moving our cameras into areas that we're actually going to be able to hunt. Now, one caveat with that is if you have an early opener or a September opener, keep those cameras on the summer food sources that you can capitalize on. But for the Midwestern guys, the Eastern guys, the October openers, now is the time to be shifting your cameras from those summer food sources to the fall food sources. You already got what you needed out of the summer food sources. So you have your inventory, you know what bucks are in the area. Now shift those cameras to where they're going to fall. If you have long-term data from previous years, now's the time, capitalize on that. Get those cameras in those areas where you previously had long-term data. So right now we're looking for white oaks, we're looking for jewelweed, we're looking for things that deer are going to target in those late September, early October months. So I'm gonna hang a camera right now, just took it down off a bean field inside corner, and we're gonna shift it over to this white oak flat.
All right, guys, another tip for hanging cameras here in the late summer. We harp on it all the time. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. Make sure you're following that spook proof equation. We're here setting this camera up on a scrape, anticipating we're going to get some more movement, some more action on this as the fall food behind us starts to fall. We picked out this tree right here because, one, we'll be able to get it up high. We'll be able to get it up out of the line of sight of the deer so they don't notice it, but we'll still be able to get some nice close pictures of them. As you can see, it's a split trunk tree, so it's going to help hide the profile of this camera. We have a couple other trees coming off the side here to help with the side profile as well. We're going to use paracord on this as well, so that big strap isn't easily seen, and we're not right in the face of the deer when they're going to be hitting this scrape later on. You know, we're about 20 feet from it here, so it's a good enough distance away that they're not going to notice it, but we're still going to be able to get a good look at that buck as he comes in and works this licking branch.
All right, so late summer trail cameras. As with anything, you need to keep in mind the goal. What is the goal with late summer trail cameras? If you're anything like us, you've been running trail cameras all through the month of July. Even into June, we had some out. Those cameras lived on summer food sources, bean fields, ag fields, anywhere there's green food source, clover, all those types of areas. Right now, we want to get ahead of the game. If you follow the trail camera strategy that we use our trail cameras in long-term data sets. So we have camera intel from last year that right now we need to get ahead of. So I'm in here in an area that I hunted last year, and I had a camera on a ridge line that would like intersected a creek crossing, and up on top we found a bunch of old scrapes. We were actually in here to film a video about scrapes. We found a bunch, and I had a camera on there, but I had it up late. So right now I'm coming in here, you can see the licking branch here behind me, and I'm getting my cell cameras on my long-term sets from last year right now. So these are a lot of times in areas that are more sensitive. I don't want to be coming in here in October and disrupting the behavior. The beauty of cell cameras is you set it and forget it. I'm going to get it out here now in August, make sure it's working properly, monitoring this scrape, because I have last year's data to capitalize on. So that's the goal here for today, is to hang some cell cameras in areas that my annual data from last year told me it's a good place to be. So that is camera setup number one for right now. I'm gonna hang a camera over this scrape.
Another thing too is don't discount the power of long-term camera sits when it comes to cell cameras too. You know, right now is the time to switch your cameras from your summer food sources to your fall food sources, your fall scrapes, your fall destination areas, so you can get that long-term data. You know, Cameron's buck that he killed in Ohio last year, that deer showed up the same exact date, same exact spot 2 years in a row. And that's what helped him kill that deer. So don't discount long-term trail camera data.
So now we get to the good stuff. When should you be checking your late summer trail cameras, or what date should you be paying attention to your cell cameras? A few years back, we heard a podcast from Mark Jury talking about his dates that he needs to pay attention to in the summer. Those dates are from August 18th to the 21st of August. You're gonna get bucks shifting from summer ranges over to fall ranges. It happens all the time. We see it all the time. New bucks showing up on cameras in areas they haven't been all summer around August 18th to August 21st. So if you have standard SD card cameras out, stay out. Don't go in there until after that period, August 25th, August 26th. You get a super dry, hot day, move in there midday, check those cameras and see what showed up that last week. If you have cell cameras out, make sure you set your calendar date. You're gonna check for August 18th to August 21st. And why is that significant? Why are those bucks showing up in those time frames significant? Well, if you've paid attention to Exodus content in the past, you've heard Don Higgins talk about homecoming bucks. Bucks that are now in their fall ranges, returning to their summer ranges November 5th through November 7th, or the tail end of the rut. Those bucks are going back, checking for does that they knew were in their summer range. Maybe they're getting antsy looking for that first hot doe. That November 5th to November 7th timeframe seems to be when the homecoming bucks return to their summer ranges. So those bucks that are showing up in that late August timeframe could be those bucks that you could target in late November. So a lot of people consider summer trail cameras to be a wash and they don't have them out yet, but I'm telling you, there are some useful things that you can get from your summer trail cameras. So make sure you pay attention to those key dates and then reference those back in November.